Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guests in studio today with the CEO programs, Melanie Brown facilitates the Central Illinois CEO program. And a good morning, Melanie. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
And Lisa, thanks for coming over. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks for having us out.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming over, ladies, and talking with us. So let's recap the CEO year. Melanie, start with you. How did your year go?
Yeah, it went really, really well. It's always bittersweet to wrap up the school year because, we meet 90 minutes a day. And when you think of that, you're like, holy cow, what am I going to do with these students for 90 minutes? But it flies by every single day, whether we're touring, if we have a speaker, or if we have a classroom day. And so when you look back at the amount of time that you spend with these students and how close the class gets, how the relationships that they have, but then the rapport that you have with them, it is bittersweet to see them go because you feel such a part of their lives. My favorite part is just watching the growth and comparing, how they were on the first day of class. Did they speak up? Did they kind of look down more than interacting with others? Did they take that initiative when we dropped the very first project in their laps on the second day of class? To how are they running their own individual business at the end of the year? And it's just really, really cool to see confidence, which is a common theme that you see. They recognize that in themselves. Their parents see that. Their peers see that. They gain so much confidence. Public speaking has improved dramatically. And then just more clarity of who they are and who they want to be, what they want out of life. So it is just such a neat process.
Lisa, how was your school year, and what's your favorite part of the program?
So I'm trying to think of one that is not just echoing what Melanie said, but it is so hard not to land on the seeing growth in each and every student as being a favorite and almost a broken record topic of CEO, but that I think will just always be my favorite. And I think to kind of expand on that a little bit, one of the pieces of that is that each student can take CEO and run with it with who they are, and we don't have to do a certain battery of tests or have certain check boxes that each student has to have in order to do well in CEO. So I think we can meet them where they're at and see growth where they're at, and that's always really exciting. And we had another fantastic group and another fantastic year. Excited to see where they go and what they do from here.
Sure. So trade show is kind of the most recent and really kind of the bookend to the year, if you will. How was trade show for the Sangamon Valley CEO program, Lisa?
We had a great trade show. We were in the community building at Allerton in Monticello this year, so another new venue, and it worked out really well for us. But more than that, just to see each of the individual businesses, and I think a highlight is they have to spend 2 hours interacting with the public about what they've accomplished and what they've done and how they are putting together their own individual business, and to see the excitement in that and to see each and every one flourish in that. We've had some really neat businesses, and I think even 5 years in, it's neat to see that every single one of them is different, and we might have some repeat concepts, but mostly we had 9 different businesses. I think Melanie had the same with 10 different ones, and it's just really neat to see the creativity and that they can take it and run with it.
Something Lisa said, Melanie, kind of brought me back to a comment you had made about how the public is interacting with these kids at trade show, and you had mentioned, the progression of these kids from start to finish. You tell them at the beginning of the year, okay, the end of the year is going to be you standing out in front of, 75, 100 people that you don't know, and they are going to want to talk to you. And believe it or not, when you get there, you are going to be just fine in that scenario because you will have learned and progressed so much in this program.
It is so true, and it's neat to hear them say that. So after we have trade show, we do exit interviews, and I have 2 board members sit in the exit interview with me, and basically our board members conduct those, and it gives them a chance to really get that honest feedback from the student. We tell students, don't be nervous about the exit interview because this is really for us. It's not about like evaluating you. We want your honest feedback. We want to learn from you. And so in those exit interviews, asking them about the different projects, specifically trade show, and several of them said, I was surprised that I wasn't nervous. And part of it was, they have to set up their booth. They have to have all of their products ready. So it is a busy day. They come and they set up, they go back to school, they come, they finish their setup, and then it's go time. So they don't have a lot of time to get nervous.
Right.
But so many of them just said, I knew my business and I felt very confident, and they love CEO. So when you are confident and passionate about something, it's really natural for you to just be able to speak in that space or about that.
Sure. One of my favorite things about the end of the year conversation we have is hearing the success stories. What are 2 or 3 that stand out to you, Lisa, about your program this year?
One that comes top to mind really quickly is that we had a student who is going to do a pet treat company, and who knew it is harder to get licensing for pet treats and pet foods than it is for human foods. So
that's interesting.
yes. So I learned a lot too, and have learned that to probably coach our students very early in the school year, that if you have any intuition to do anything with pet foods, that we need to get the licensing started immediately. So in that, he was not able to get, even with a connection and a phone call to the licensing bureau. The step you have to take it further with pet food is you have to have it independently tested and certified, and they have to tell you like how many proteins are in the food, and you have to label it as such. So that's a several month process instead of just like 30 to 60 days.
Right.
So he was not going to be able to do it by trade show, and we really kind of got the final answer, like, this is not going to work 2 to 3 weeks before trade show. So he had to pivot his entire business in 3 weeks. And that's tough for an adult. And he did it with a smile on his face, and pivoted his business from the pet food business to, he had done some soccer camps, but Rylan had decided that I've done that in the past. I want to take a risk and I want to try something different. So I was proud of, he could have done the soccer camp and done an easier sell all the way around. But pivoted in 3 weeks with a great attitude and was ready to talk to those 75 to 150 people.
Wow.
That's 3 weeks time.
I mean, that's
think
tough.
it's huge success.
Yeah, well, that's tough just because he had his mindset on that. I'm sure that's where he wanted to be, and then to just have to start all over 3 weeks out is crazy. So kudos to, you said Rylan did that?
Yeah, Rylan good. It was he and his marketing. He already had his banner. His marketing materials were beautiful and ended up being great for both businesses. But
cool. Wow.
And reordered everything.
Yeah,
so.
Incredible. How about you, Melanie? What are some success stories?
It's so hard to just pick one, because they're all so amazing. I mean, they're 16, 17, 18-year-olds that are doing incredible work on top of sports and part-time jobs and school and preparing for college and graduation and just being a teenager. I would say one that I really appreciated and got excited about was Gracie Rigg. She chose to do permanent jewelry, and she chose, like him, to do that. She knew nothing about it. So it started with someone suggesting that because she wasn't sure what she wanted to do back in January. She's like, I've never heard of this. What is it? And began researching it and did YouTube videos and signed up and paid for an online course and then found the equipment that she needed. And I mean, she had to go get insurance. Like, she legitimately did
Wow.
it step by step. And I was super proud of her. I know that there were moments when she wanted to just say, okay, I want to push the easy button and do something that she was familiar with. But I'm like, you signed up for this to stretch you, and you are embracing that instead of doing something that's comfortable and safe. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how she continues. She wants to continue the business and do little pop-up shops and home parties and stuff like that. And I think it could be a very profitable business for her.
You said something interesting there, that the kids could choose something easy or they can challenge themselves.
Yeah.
What's the split of that you notice? And you obviously don't have to name names, but what's the split of your class that does that, you think?
I would say half of them are and I shouldn't say easy, because none of it's easy. It takes a lot of work, but like, they see something that another CEO student has done previously and they're like, oh, I like that. I want to do that. Instead of stepping back and saying, there are some facilitators that say you have to come up with a business that was not done last year. And so then that gives those students that expectation of like, you can't do car detailing. You cannot do yard, lawn mowing and yard work, that type of things. You can't make candles or car freshies because that's been done before, that type of thing. I'm fine with that, because what I think is cool about those students is that they use their resources. We don't tell them, hey, here's this student's name and phone number, or hey, here's this person that can help you. They have observed, they took note, they get excited and passionate about it. They utilize the resources around them with people that have gone before them and have done it, and they've learned from them. And that's a great story too, because that's what we should all be doing, right?
Sure,
Work smarter,
sure.
not harder. I would say the other really cool and success story is Sarah Mills. She's right here from Clinton, and she has a passion for golf and wanted to do something with golf all along. So she does club cleaning and restoration and regripping. But what I loved most about her story is that she has worked at the country club, and she used that resource, and she went and presented to the board and said, hey, can I use space here? Am I allowed to run my business outside, within the walls of the country club? And they gave her permission, but that was 100% her initiative to put together a presentation. Her mentor, Stephanie Runyon, she showed up to watch her presentation to the board as well, because she's a member of the country club. And she's just been able to really maximize that opportunity that she already had there, that required her to get a DBA and insurance. And she got both of those things, has an official account, checking account where all of her money goes through. So it's just, those are great success stories where it's like, we have not just taught them about business, but they are walking through it. They know what a DBA is, how to fill that out. They understand.
What is a DBA?
Doing business as. So it's basically the name of your business, but you have to go to the county building and get it official.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. So I learned something this morning.
Yeah. First up to having your business license, like, if you don't yet need the protections of an LLC or a corporation, it's that first step of having a licensed business.
Oh, okay.
Running, it's technically doing business as, so, and also getting it so you can name your business something than just your name.
Okay, gotcha. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies, let's take a break and come back, and as we kind of exhale, the latest school year is over. Let's talk about what's ahead, what the summer looks like for you ladies. And so in the meantime, Melanie, how do folks learn about your chapter of CEO?
Yes, they can go to our website, centralillinoisceo.com, or we are on Instagram and Facebook as well.
And Lisa, yours?
We are SangamonValleyCEO.com, or we are on Facebook, Sangamon Valley CEO.
Very good. That, again, is Melanie Brown and Lisa Sheppard with the Central Illinois and Sangamon Valley CEO programs, respectively, in studio with us. More to come with them on The Morning Show.
WHOW. Terrific day on the course.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn higher, beans steady, wheat trading lower. July corn up 4.65 1/4. September corn up 3.5, 4.73 3/4. New crop December 4.86 3/4, up 2 3/4. July beans 12.46 1/4 unchanged. August beans up a penny, 12.44 1/4. New crop November 12.20 3/4, up 2.5. July wheat, 6.89 1/4, down 3 3/4. September wheat, down 3 3/4, 7.09. July bean meal, 377.60. That's down 60 cents. July bean oil unchanged, 45.88. Livestock market, May feeders 250.12 down a quarter. June live cattle unchanged 184.17. June lean hogs 95.55 up 15 cents. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Chip Flory here, the host of AgriTalk, the nation's longest-running agriculture talk show. I'm here to remind our listeners on Central Illinois' agriculture station, WHOW, that you can hear our show weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on WHOW's many platforms. On the Big 1520 across Central Illinois, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, and now on 106.5 FM in Logan County, and on the WHOW app. AgriTalk on WHOW.
With summer right around the corner here at Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton, we have all our shorts for the whole family on sale. And while you're here, check out our camping section. This is Connie. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram, and DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. It's greening up out there.
Time to work on my golf game.
And a perfect time to make that big move.
Like when my ball moves towards that tree. Oh, geez. 4.
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
Call Utterback Real Estate or click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, in studio with us today, Melanie Brown and Lisa Sheppard. They facilitate the local CEO chapters. Melanie facilitates the Central Illinois CEO chapter. And so, Melanie, talk to me about what we know about next year's class and roster.
Yes. So next year we have 15 students that we're welcoming into the program.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
It's just very exciting. We actually have our orientation next week. We are doing that earlier than normal. Usually we do that in August, but we decided to move it up. That way it gives the parents more information at the front end so they have summer time to prepare for transportation, clothing, and just the mindset of what CEO is and what their student has signed up for. The split of students that we have, I'm giving an estimate because I didn't bring those numbers in with me. We have one from Blue Ridge High School. I believe we have 4 from Clinton High School, 6 or 7 from rural Forsyth, and then the rest are Warrensburg. So really nice mix of men and women, from juniors and seniors from those 4 schools for next year.
What is making this program so popular in Warrensburg?
Gosh, I mean, I just think that people are starting to learn about it. You know, they're starting to see these additional opportunities of non-traditional, schooling, learning.
Yeah.
And I just think the more that we have been out there in the community, our social media presence, our recruiting, our students did a great job recruiting. And we put that really on them. It is not on us or the board. It is the students telling the story, the students inviting other students to class. And I do think that has been one of my most successful recruiting efforts, is inviting students who are interested into our CEO class. So we call it Experienced CEO Days, and they are very well attended from all 4 schools. And that really is an opportunity for them to step out of school for the morning, for that 90 minutes, see what it's like. And many of them, when they come, they're like, I'm absolutely applying.
Sure.
So we actually had 23 apply, but we chose to go with 15 this
Nice.
year.
How about your roster next year, Lisa?
We have 10 again next year. The exciting piece, I believe, is that we have our first year where we have at least one from each of our 5 districts. So really excited about that.
Cool.
We've got a full gamut of every school represented.
What was your applications like for this year?
We had 12 that finished the application process. I think 2 got cold feet and reneged to their applications before the full process. But yeah.
Wonderful. Do you ladies need investors going into the new year? Melanie, how about that?
Always. I mean, this program would not be possible without investors. It is 100% funded by investors, which could be local businesses or individuals. And, the state and the schools, they don't pay any money into the program. So, yes, we fund the program 100% by our investors. And, an investor, It is recommended that an investor gives at the level of $1,000 a year for 3 years. However, we understand the times in which people are in, and there are ways that people can give outside of those specific guidelines. So, for example, if they wanted to be the investor of our team building initiative that's a start at the school year, we take the students to Little Galilee together. Both of our programs go out there and we do the high ropes course, and that's about $500. So if there's an investor out there that's like, team building really speaks to my heart and I really want to contribute, but I can't give at that level, that is a way that you could reach out to one of our board members and just say, hey, this is really speaking to my heart. I want to be able to assist with that, or I want to help fund the trade show and be a sponsor of the trade show. It's just, there are different ways to give and different levels to give, but it is just so important to have that community support.
Yeah. Does it fall on you as the facilitators to recruit for investing, Lisa?
Thankfully, we have fantastic boards, and I am so grateful for our 12 board members, and really the brunt of the investing part of it falls on the board, and they do a great job of making sure our program is fully funded. The nice thing about the Midland parameters when they set up a program is that a program must be fully funded for a year before they will hire a facilitator. So that keeps the programs very financially healthy in that there is that reserve. But you don't really want to dip into that reserve. So
Right.
a fully funded program is just a blessing. And we have such amazing businesses that participate both in the funding of it, and then they are the teachers in the program. So our site visits and our mentors, it's just over and over again, I'm overwhelmed just by how great our small local businesses are in our communities and how much they really invest in our communities.
And in talking with a few just in the communities that I know of that invest, they speak to the value of all of this. And ladies, I hate to do this to you. I have to let you go this morning. Again, that's Lisa Sheppard and Melanie Brown with the local CEO chapters. Network news on the way.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM,